Hey everyone, as always Jarek here. This video is going to be a little bit different than my normal content, and it will not replace the video I usually post on Friday. Today I'm going to be reviewing the Blackview BL5000 5G. This phone at the time of filming this video is not currently released. When you see this video on August 2nd, it will just be released to the public. In fact, from August 2nd to August 8th, this phone will only be $300 and will come with some Bluetooth earbuds, packaged in as a gift. Judging off their website, the normal price will be $400 after that. Full disclosure, this video is sponsored by them, but they're not even paying me. They just said, hey, we'll toss you the phone, and if you want to make a review of it, then feel free. I'm not even under any contract. They didn't say, you need to say this or anything like that. They just said, make a review of it. You can have the phone, and that's it. Which is nice, because my previous phone that I've been using since like 2015 was this. This is a Samsung Galaxy J36. It was a free starter phone that I got with my plan. I didn't use my phone enough to really buy something new, or at least I told myself that, because I work from home and I always have this beast of a computer behind me, but in all reality, I do leave my house and I do need to use my phone for other things. So finally getting an upgrade is really nice. So yeah, I've had this phone for about 2 weeks now. I've gotten used to it, and here's how it is. I'm gonna ramble off some specs real quick, and then I'll give you a practical application as to what any of it means. The BL5000 supports dual 5G, which guarantees seamless handover between two 5G connections. This basically means games are going to be able to download, launch, and run at the same time perfectly fine. It has a 7nm octa-core MediaTek Dimensity 700 chipset with 8 GB of LPDDR4X RAM. It operates up to 2.2 GHz. The display is 6.63 inches at a 60 Hz refresh rate and 128 Hz touch sampling rate. There is 128 GB of UFS 2.2 internal storage and HyperEngine tech, which is supposed to give it up to a 40% speed enhancement. The goal of that last sentence is that it's supposed to be more responsive, which it does feel very responsive to me. I've yet to have it lag or stutter or freeze. Again, it has a 6.36-inch FHD screen. Resolution is 1080 by 2300 with an 84% screen-to-body ratio and 400 ppi density. It also has a 1217 ultra-linear speaker. What does any of that mean? Well, I guess we gotta launch a game to find out. Now, I'm not really a mobile gamer, and I never really have been. I have no problems with mobile games. If you're really into them, more power to you. That's why I accept sponsors from mobile companies, because it's fine, it's just not usually my thing. I mean, I got my overdone computer behind me and my Switch for on the road. That said, there's always been one mobile game that I've wanted to try, and that's Call of Duty Mobile. The reason I've been wanting to try Call of Duty Mobile is because it's basically just Black Ops 2, but with content from every other Call of Duty game, which is kind of literally what everyone wants, just old Call of Duty with more content. It begs the question, why the hell is this not on PC? Because the answer is people would be playing that more than the new games and they would lose out on sales, and it makes me sad. With that all said, I can simply just pair up my Xbox Elite V2 controller with my phone and just play some Call of Duty. Unfortunately, Call of Duty Mobile is a little annoying and only allows me to turn the settings up to medium with a high refresh rate. It is playing at 60 Hz for the record. I'm gonna be honest, this game is really fun. I mean, it's old Call of Duty, and I've always liked old Call of Duty. I've always just wanted more Black Ops 2. So I spent a good amount of time playing this game already while just laying in bed, getting ready to go to sleep. Or just being lazy, laying in bed. I mean, let's be real, who doesn't want a lazy day? And out of that, the thing that actually impressed me the most was the battery life on this thing. The battery is a 4,980 milliamp battery. Phone comes with an ultra save mode and 30 watt fast charge. To put that into an actual real life scenario instead of just numbers, I was playing Call of Duty Mobile for 5 hours straight with my controller paired to the phone. The battery charge went from 92% to 77%. with 5 hours of gaming, and that's really impressive to me. I've also gone 4 days without charging this phone, not playing any games on it, but using it as you normally would, calls, text, stuff like that, and the charge went from 100% to 82%. So I'm really impressed with the battery life on this phone. Although the one downside I will say is that you can't replace the battery. I know a lot of phones do that these days, but that's always something I want to point out. This phone also claims to have copper pipe liquid cooling, and that's something that I did notice. I had the phone just laying on my bed, so not great circulation, and it didn't get hot at all. Also, one of the selling points of this phone is that it is apparently incredibly durable, and I don't doubt them, but I have not tested that extensively. What I will say is that one of the first things I would usually want to do when I get a new phone is get a new case for it. But upon immediately picking up out of the box, you can tell it sort of already has a case built into the phone. It's difficult to explain, but the screen is a tough glass, and the rest of the phone is totally encased in this sort of rubber feeling material. And when I say totally encased, I truly do mean totally encased and sealed off to the point of where they say it's waterproof, and the camera apparently has an underwater setting. I have not tested that because it feels really weird dunking my phone in water, but That's a claim they make. That's something I will almost certainly unintentionally test at one point or another. I do live in Portland and it rains here all the time, so it is nice to know. What I can say is that I have accidentally tested the durability of this phone, not due to my own fault. I had my phone sitting on a table while I was out getting food. My friend walked by, knocked it off, and it landed on the corner and then slid on the screen, and there's not one mark on it. I don't want to test that again, but if that's anything to go off of, this phone is going to be very durable. To reiterate, it fell on concrete and slid on concrete, screen first. I would expect there to be some sort of marks or something that had happened to it. Now we can talk about the phone's camera, which is a lot more down my alley. The BL5000 has a 12 megapixel Sony IMX362 camera. This camera is intended for faster focusing and shooting speed. Meanwhile, it also has a 16 megapixel Samsung S5K3 P9 SP for better low light situations. Oh, it also has a 16 megapixel 125 degree ultra wide camera. I'm not gonna lie, this camera I was quite surprised by. In fact, this camera is probably a lot better than that camera I'm using to record this video. Which I guess shouldn't be surprised, that camera's kind of getting old now. Phones have come a really long way. I mean, this is more powerful than the 360 now, which is kind of crazy to think about. This camera can film at 720p, 1080p, and even 1440p. So I have some tests for you. The first test is at 1440p, although it is very important to say that this is part of the first batch of these phones and I'm waiting for an update, so 1440p doesn't work exactly as intended yet. It will on launch. If you notice any stuttering, that's why. You won't experience this. So let's move on to the 1080 test. The camera also has plenty of features like, say, HDR. So here's a little bit of footage with HDR turned on and HDR turned off. I wanted to get some footage at dusk so there would be a little bit more color, as I think that best shows it off. And HDR did improve the colors quite a bit. Although you do have to be careful. If you use HDR in, say, a setting like this, then the colors are going to be extremely saturated and not look very good. That is to say, you should know your camera in and out. You should know what settings you need to turn on and what settings you should turn off. My main point there is that the camera in this is good enough to where you actually can use it like a regular camera. The next setting I want to show you is the difference between the normal camera and the wide-angled lens. I feel that the wide-angled lens actually made the quality go down a little bit, but that's kind of to be expected when you're recording that much more. Regardless, this really is as they advertise. This is a super wide-angle lens. So yeah, the camera on this thing actually impressed me, to the point of where I might just get a mount for it and use this for my videos instead of that camera. Finally retired after so long. Oh, also I forgot to turn on stabilization for all those recording examples, so whoops. I did test it around the house and the stabilization works as you would expect. I mean, it's a pretty standard feature nowadays, so I'm not too surprised by that. There's also plenty of other camera settings like a night mode, a smart AI beauty algorithm, a portrait color mode, a monochrome mode, and like I said, even an underwater mode. Needless to say, if you want a camera on your phone to treat like a regular camera, the camera on this is definitely good enough. So now that I've used this phone for a while now, I'm pretty happy with it, I would say. How would I feel it pairs up to other phones? Well, I wouldn't say it is the best of the best gaming phone, but the best of the best gaming phones also cost $300, $400 more than this one does. I would say this phone goes just in the tier below that. It is a great gaming phone, and I would argue it's probably the best gaming phone for the price. It also is more than just a gaming phone. A lot of gaming phones go all in and just being a gaming phone and then suffer in other areas, whereas even if you don't game, this is still going to be a great phone for you. Which, being real, is definitely the situation I'm in. I don't really play on my phone. I have so many other things to play with. Although I'm probably going to keep playing Call of Duty Mobile. And if you're doing a lot of gaming, it does have some gaming modes that will give you missed touch prevention, pop-up blocks, incoming call blocks, stuff like that. In the end of the day, I'm pretty happy with this phone. And if you want to buy it yourself, you can check that link down below in the video information. Again, from August 2nd to August 8th, it will be $300 and you'll get a free pair of headphones along with the phone. Big thanks goes out to Blackview for throwing this phone at me just to make a video without any contract or anything for me to say specifically. I don't usually get sponsors like that. And also, I'm not usually interested in sponsors that aren't just throwing money at me. So this is a rare exception. Anyway, big thanks goes to them, and big thanks goes to you guys for watching this video. I'll see you next time.